Live from Providence, this is ABC 6 News at 6.
Former New England Patriots star Aaron Hernandez in even deeper trouble, indicted today on 2 more murder charges. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Karen Myers.
And I'm John DeLuca. Hernandez is already behind bars, accused of killing his friend Odin Lloyd.
And now, after a lengthy investigation, he's charged with killing 2 men in a drive-by shooting in Boston in 2012. That is our top story tonight. ABC 6 News reporter Nicole Gerber joins us live in the newsroom with the new details. Nicole.
Well, the Suffolk County District Attorney Daniel Conley says that Hernandez ambushed 2 men in their car in July of 2012. He says that Hernandez was the trigger man. He fired the fatal shots. Indicted in a double murder. Former Patriot Aaron Hernandez now implicated in the fatal shooting of Daniel D'Abreu and Safiro Furtado in Boston in July of 2012. Massachusetts District Attorney Daniel Conley says it all began with a random encounter in a Boston nightclub.
Their chance encounter inside the club triggered a series of events that culminated in these murders.
Hernandez is accused of following the men as they drove away from the club and pulling up beside them in an SUV as they were stopped at a red light.
Aaron Hernandez then fired a .38 caliber revolver multiple times from the driver's side of his vehicle into the passenger side of the victim's vehicle.
D'Abreu suffered a fatal gunshot wound to the chest, and Furtado suffered a fatal shot to the head. This indictment is the latest in a string of legal issues Hernandez has been facing for over 7 years. Back in 2007, he was questioned in a double shooting investigation in Gainesville, Florida. On June 17th of last year, semi-pro football player Odin Lloyd was murdered. Hernandez was arrested at his Attleboro home the following week, and 90 minutes later, the tight end was dropped from the Patriots. In that same month, new allegations that Hernandez shot Connecticut native Alexander Bradley outside of a Miami strip club in the previous February. In January of this year, new documents revealed a strong connection between Hernandez and the 2012 double homicide in Boston. February 25th, Hernandez was accused of attacking another inmate at the Bristol County Jail. And just 2 days later, the families of the Boston shooting victims filed wrongful death lawsuits against the former Patriot, totaling $6 million. Hernandez is scheduled to appear in court for arraignment at the beginning of next week, at which time more details are likely to be released about what happened the night of the double murder.
This case was never about Aaron Hernandez. This case was about 2 victims who were stalked, ambushed, and senselessly murdered on the streets of the city they called home.
Well, questions are now being raised about why it took so long to implicate Hernandez in that 2012 summer double murder. He did play 10 games for the Patriots in that fall season. Live in the newsroom, Nicole Gerber, ABC 6 News.
Nicole, thank you. As she just mentioned, Hernandez played a full season with the Patriots after this double murder he's now charged in. And the newest contract he signed with the team was after this murder took place. Lawyers for Hernandez are currently chasing the Patriots for the $16 million he's guaranteed from that contract. But if convicted of these charges, ABC 6 legal analyst Ken Schreiber says he may not see a dime.
Already committed an act, in this case, the most egregious of all acts, if he's found guilty, which is murder. You're no longer going to be able to fulfill that contract. You knew going in that you couldn't unless you didn't get caught. And you shouldn't be able to profit while you're behind bars.
Now, there is also a chance the Patriots could seek to recover the $12 million signing bonus that Hernandez received when he first signed that contract.
A friend of Hernandez, who was with the football star the night Odin Lloyd was killed, was arraigned today on a new murder charge. Ernest Wallace pleaded not guilty in Fall River Superior Court. A second friend, Carlos Ortiz, was also indicted for the same thing. He will be arraigned later this month. Prosecutors say Hernandez, though, was the one who orchestrated Lloyd's murder. A man claiming to be a lawyer apparently called Massachusetts State Police when 3 friends of bombing suspect Shahar Tsarnaev were being questioned. The lawyer told the Stadies he wanted to represent the friends and asked them not to say anything. But the friends were never told about the lawyer's phone call. The information came out today as testimony continued in a hearing where defense lawyers are trying to keep the statements out of evidence. Prosecutors say 2 of the 3 confessed to removing a backpack and laptop from Tsarnaev's dorm room at UMass Dartmouth several days after the bombing.
Prosecution believes the statements are still valid.
Providence police working leads in the city's latest murder. They believe 20-year-old Devon Taylor was targeted by at least 3 men. Taylor and his sister were shot in broad daylight yesterday on Wendell Street. Witnesses say Taylor was driving with his 15-year-old sister Destiny when several shots were fired into that car. Devon, an aspiring rapper, was killed. Destiny badly injured. No arrests have been made so far. Providence police also searching for suspects in another shooting. This one, though, wasn't fatal. A woman who has not been identified was shot in the back while sitting in a parked car last night near the George Day West School.
Lawyers for former House Speaker Gordon Fox were in court today. They're trying to stop a subpoena seeking his testimony and documents related to the state's lawsuit of the 38 Studios failure. The subpoena is from Wells Fargo, which is being sued by the state for negligence in that 38 Studios deal. It wants to know more details about Fox's role. In the meantime, an attorney for Fox's friend Michael Corso was also in court. He says Corso may take the Fifth Amendment and not testify in the lawsuits. Corso was a key broker in making the 38 Studios deal happen. Also in court today, lawyers told the judge they're worried nothing may be left to recover from 38 Studios because of all the legal fees. Various companies involved in the lawsuits had insurance policies to protect them, including 38 Studios. However, the insurance benefits can be used to pay legal fees. There are concerns that the lawsuits will drag on for so long that insurance money that could help repay the state will be gone.
Students in Fall River are searching for a new school to finish out the year. The private academy they'd been attending shut down abruptly. ABC 6 News reporter Melissa Randall has more.
Well, with less than a month left to go in the school year, Seton Academy is no more. Parents received a phone call yesterday to come pick up their little ones. No explanation given. It was no secret that the cash-strapped Seton Academy had plans to close at the end of the school year, but parents were shocked yesterday when the Fall River School abruptly shut its doors 2 weeks early. Nelson Roderick's son was a kindergartner. His wife spent the day working with the public school district, trying to figure out what to do.
A ton of parents there trying to figure out where the kids are going to go to school and if the transcripts from the school will be available for them to get credit for, the time that they were here.
Prior to the school closing, the Attorney General's office launched an investigation into Seton Academy. They would not confirm the nature of that investigation, but in 2013, the school was cited for owing nearly $50,000 in back wages. Parent Bob Costa says enrollment numbers had dropped to less than 50 students, and the board was having trouble collecting tuition.
There was a small number that refused to pay that, and that small number has created this mess.
Costa says the money situation at the independent school was so bad, parents received a letter a while back saying the educators were no longer being paid.
And as good teachers as they are, they felt that they wanted to finish off the school year, volunteered their time.
The AG's office says they never ordered the academy to close. That was a decision made by the school. Some parents now questioning just how deep Seton's financial problems really run. Now, the investigation here will continue. Meanwhile, the Attorney General's office says they are helping to coordinate with the Fall River Public Schools in order to place the students. In Fall River, Melissa Randall, ABC 6 News.
New at 6 tonight, a scam targeting homeowners in East Providence. According to police, scammers are offering to pave your driveway at a deep discount. If someone accepts the deal, police say the people show up at the home with equipment. Then they claim a mistake was made and the victim ends up owing thousands of dollars. In one case, a scammer even went to a bank with a victim to get money. 6:08 on the dot. Let's get checking the forecast now with Storm Tracker Chief Meteorologist Kevin Costner. Kevin.
Well, a warm and muggy day across all of southern New England, John. Take a look at the numbers at the 6 o'clock hour. Still temperatures in the mid to upper 60s in most areas. We've got 68 right here in Providence after topping out at 71 earlier. And it was nice out there today, anywhere you were, really, even if you were out at Coast Guard Beach. I love this picture because I like the way the sun shines on the waves there as they crash on the shore. It just makes you want to be at the beach, but when don't you want to be there? But at least we can look at these people. They're probably having fun out there. It was so humid out there. It was really a good day to hit the water. And there was some sunshine out there filtering through those clouds. The humidity is high. It's going to be so tonight, tomorrow, too. Stickiness will be with us through your Friday night. But the weekend forecast is looking a little bit better than it looked yesterday. More on that in a minute. As far as the rest of tonight, could see a sprinkle. Otherwise, just kind of a muggy spring-like night for us with overnight lows very balmy, right around 60 degrees. Those will be your wake-up temperatures tomorrow morning. I'll tell you when the best chance of heavy rain is in the extended forecast coming up in a few minutes.
The Blue Angels take flight at Quonset today, preparing for this weekend's air show. There was no show last year because of the sequester. Now, admission is free this weekend, but Governor Chafee stresses the economic impact on the area is huge.
Yes, after the sequestration, all the troubles in Washington, last year we had to cancel the air show, but it's hugely popular here in Rhode Island. And this year we're going to have job fairs there with the National Guard.
One of the pilots flying this weekend is from Warwick. Colonel Ed Corcoran graduated from Pilgrim High School and enlisted right away. He's flying one of the F-22 fighter jets. It is his 4th time flying in the Quonset Air Show and also his last. He's retiring later this year.
Quonset Air Show is a place I remember coming to as a kid with my parents and my grandfather, and watching the Thunderbirds, etc. here, and always loved aviation. So it's great to come home.
Corcoran's entire family is coming out to see him fly at the show. GM recalling millions of more vehicles. The problem with the ignition switch that's caused several deaths, still a big issue.
And he may have a famous name, but Clay Pell has never run for office. Tonight we'll meet him in our profile of candidates running for governor.
And we take a ride on the tallest swing ride on the planet at Six Flags New England.
This year's crowded race for governor includes one of the most well-known political names in Rhode Island.
Democrat Clay Pell has instant name recognition. His grandfather, Senator Claiborne Pell, was a longtime U.S. Senator. ABC 6 News chief political reporter Mark Curtis is in the newsroom with tonight's Your Voice, Your Vote. Mark.
Well, Karen and John, having a famous name is something of a two-edged sword for Clay Pell. It could bring perhaps unfair comparisons to the legendary senator, but at the same time, name recognition inside a voting booth can be a very powerful tool. He may have a famous wife and he may have a famous political name, but newcomer Clay Pell says he's his own man. He wants to be the next governor of Rhode Island.
I believe that government, when done right, can really change people's lives. We really can help people get a first-class education. We really can build our roads and our bridges. We really can create jobs.
To do that, Pell wants Rhode Island to become the first state in the nation that offers every high school student a professional internship.
A first-class education requires that we really give students the opportunity to get the job skills and the understanding of the job market that they need so they can get a job.
Pell also wants to better promote the coastal and marine economy in Rhode Island.
That we can leverage through the defense sector, through shipbuilding, through the maritime sector.
Here's some more profile information on Clay Pell. After graduating from Harvard, he attended Georgetown Law School. He then joined the U.S. Coast Guard and later worked as a White House fellow. As for social issues being debated in the General Assembly this year, Pell says legalizing marijuana, like other states, is not a priority.
How we're going to create a first-class education, invest in roads and bridges, and we'll look at marijuana down the line.
But Pell does say he favors a number of gun control measures being debated on Smith Hill.
I think that we should have limitations on high-capacity magazines, for example. I think that we should have restrictions on assault-style weapons as well.
By all accounts, this is going to be a competitive race for governor, but Pell says the fact that he's never been elected to any political office makes him stand out in the field.
My experience is not that of an elected official, you're right. It's as an officer in the Coast Guard, it's as a leader in the Department of Education, working with President Obama. And I believe that we need to change the culture of politics in this state if we're going to move things forward.
Clay Pell is the youngest candidate for governor at just 32 years old, but he says it's time for a new generation of leadership in Rhode Island. Live in the newsroom, Mark Curtis, ABC 6 News.
All right, Mark, thank you. Each night this week during our 6 o'clock news, we will profile a different gubernatorial candidate. Tomorrow, Mark will sit down with Democrat Todd Giroux.
And if you miss any of Mark's profiles or if you'd like to watch them again, you can go to our website, abc6.com.
Police need your help identifying a suspect wanted in 2 robberies in Warren.
And do you think you could hold it together on the tallest swing ride in the world? We try it out next.
No, absolutely not. Plus, we'd like you to tell us what's unique about where you live. Go to our website, abc6.com, and let us in on something other people don't know about your community. We may send a camera and air your story on ABC 6 News.
Win tickets to Six Flags New England. Visit abc6.com for details.
A man wearing blue fishing gloves is wanted in 2 robberies in Warren. Police say the suspect walked into a laundromat on Main Street last week, asked an employee to change a bill, and when she did, he grabbed her arm, reached into the register, took money, and ran off. Then a few days later, the same thing. A man walked into the Supermart store on Main Street, demanding money from the clerk. In both cases, that suspect was wearing blue fishing gloves and a dark cap.
We have a consumer alert to pass along this evening. General Motors has recalled another 3 million vehicles because of a problem with an ignition switch. That brings the total number of GM recalls this year to nearly 13 million worldwide. The automaker apparently knew about the problem going back for 10 years. The ignition switch recall has been tied to at least 13 deaths. The vehicles range from Buicks to Saturns to Chevrolet models. If you'd like a full list of those vehicles recalled, you can go to our website at abc6.com.
And now, Southern New England's most accurate forecast, certified by Weather Rate.
Well, if you want to see what the weather feels like around here in the middle of July, just take today's weather and add about 20 degrees because it is sticky out there. We've got the humidity, but it's not overly warm, and we hit 70 for a high. Spring-like, yes, and also rather cloudy and hazy out of Skycam looking down the Providence River. 68 is our temp. Humidity is rather high at 76% with a dew point of 60. It's been breezy today. Those southeast winds bringing in some moisture anywhere from 10 to 20 miles an hour, and the next couple of hours will be rather breezy as well. We did see a trace of rain today at TF Green, but most of the day was rain-free. 71 was the high, 56 was the morning low. Now, these are your current temperatures across the region. You're near 60 for much of the Rhode Island coast and Block Island as well. A little bit warmer for everybody else, near 70 from Providence and away from the bay. How about these dew point temps? They're near 60. They're going to be that way for the next 24 to 36 hours. So the stickiness is here for at least another day and a half. And yes, it is rather muggy. Those southeast breezes anywhere from 10 to 20 miles an hour. We've seen some gusts up to 30 in the New Bedford area. It's been rather breezy this evening. And once again, the next couple of hours will continue to be breezy before the winds diminish a bit later tonight, giving way to perhaps some fog, kind of like what happened last night. As a matter of fact, as we look at the radar for the past 6 hours, very quiet out there, really, as far as measurable rain. We might see some of these rain showers offshore move through the area over the next couple of hours, but most areas are going to be dry. Now, there is a large area of rain that is sitting along a stalled-out frontal boundary from the eastern Great Lakes stretching down to the southeastern U.S. On the northwest side of that, there's actually snow right now north of Green Bay. As you head down south, you've got showers and storms with a lot of moisture with this system. We will tap into that moisture tomorrow night into Saturday morning. Take a look at future track for the rest of this Thursday night. Muggy conditions all across New England and much of the Northeast. Out ahead of that front, the moisture is really pooling. Now, through the day tomorrow, it's going to be very similar to what we had today. Mostly cloudy skies. There'll be some filtered sunshine, maybe a shower, especially by the afternoon, but the mugginess and those southeast breezes will stay with us through this time tomorrow. As we head toward tomorrow night after sunset, and especially toward midnight, showers and storms should arrive as we head into the late evening hours of your Friday, and last into Saturday morning out ahead of a cool front. Now, what's expected to happen here is actually good news for many who are hoping for a good weekend. We might get rid of these rain showers and thunderstorms before the noon hour and then give way to some partial sunshine as the day progresses. Now, Saturday afternoon is interesting weather-wise because there's going to be a trough of low pressure, which usually promotes clouds and a few showers this time of year with some humidity. So we could see some showers in the afternoon on Saturday, but the best chance for the heavier rain is going to be in the morning on Saturday. So we might have a good second half of your day there to start your weekend. Forecast for tonight, mild and muggy, a balmy low of 60. And just like last night, we'll see some fog as we head toward the midnight hour and after that as well. Low temps will be uniform tonight across the region in the upper 50s to near 60 degrees. With the sticky air mass in place, it's very common that you're going to see these mild overnight lows. Now, high temperatures tomorrow, very similar to what we had today, right around 70 degrees, a little bit of fog in the morning, few peaks of sun as the day progresses, a humid day, a breezy day, and we might see a few showers tomorrow afternoon. And those winds will be gusting up to 30 miles an hour with highs near 70 here in Providence. Mid to upper 60s for most of the coast tomorrow, Newport and Westerly included. New Bedford 68, 69 here in Providence. Tomorrow night should be a rainy night, especially as we head toward the midnight hour on your Friday night. Could see some gusty thunderstorms too. A balmy low of 60. It will be muggy and rainy. Now, the rain lasts into Saturday morning. Should be out of here by noontime though. And then the afternoon should be okay. Could see a stray shower Saturday afternoon and another chance of a shower Sunday afternoon. Tell you the truth, Sunday through Tuesday, less humid, highs in the 60s, and chances for mainly afternoon showers. So it could be worse.
Yes, it could. All right. Thank you, Kevin. A new ride at Six Flags is specifically designed to make you scream. The New England Sky Screamer doesn't officially open to the public until Memorial Day weekend, but ABC6 News reporter, look at him, Mike LaCrosse was one of 24 people who got to take a ride on what's being called the tallest swing ride on the planet. How does that make your stomach feel? It takes you 400 feet in the air, that's about 40 stories high, and reaches speeds of 35 miles an hour. Several people from our area got to take a spin today.
Feel like you're just floating up there because there's not much holding you in.
Like, I didn't think the wind would make your seat go back and forth, but it was really windy, and yeah, it was scary, right?
At least they all have smiles on their face. Well, the Sky Screamer is the tallest attraction Six Flags New England has ever had. Ken.
How do you spell nightmare? I say the Sky Screamer for me. But the Bruins lived one last night against the Canadiens. And the Red Sox rallied to tie the Twins in the ninth. They force extra innings at Minnesota. What happens next, as Yogi would say, deja vu all over again.
ABC6 Weather is brought to you by Police and PoliceAuto.com.
Next Insider. Barbara Walters' farewell party. Inside the View reunion with all of her former feuding co-hosts.
Then secrets from Beyonce's former communications chief and the question that nearly shut down our interview.
Next Insider.
Tonight at 7 on ABC6.
Now, ABC6 Sports.
A disappointing end, and I'm sure a sleepless night for many of the Bruins who wonder what happened to this sensational season. The Bruins were lethargic in the first period last night, and the Canadiens on fire. Dale Weiss scores just over 2 minutes into the game. That set the tone. Then the Bees get sloppy in their own end. Max Pacioretty makes them pay. Nightmare 3-1 finish to what otherwise was a great season. Reports say Milan Lucic was less than gracious after the loss, telling Dale Weiss and Alexei Emelin, quote, "I'm going to, expletive deleted, kill you next year."
Set on the ice, so it'll stay on the ice. So if he wants to be a baby about it, he can make it public. You know, we get ourselves up 3-2 in the series and not able to get the job done, especially with the group that we had here and the season that we were able to put together. And it's going to be tough to swallow this one and deal with it for the rest of the summer.
Maybe a little bit of maybe a bounce here or there or luck. I mean, we had some really good chances. When there's a game, one-goal game, 2-1, you're really looking for just to get that goal and tie the game, and we couldn't get it done.
You know the saying, wait till next year. Strange night at the Dunk for Game 3 of the playoff series with the Penguins. Scranton scored the first goal. P. Bruins would build a 3-goal lead, only to lose the lead and the game in double overtime. Game 4 Friday night at the Dunk. PC junior forward Drew Brown has returned home to receive treatment for cancer. Brown, number 7 in these highlights, has begun chemo in Ann Arbor, Michigan to battle Ewing sarcoma, a rare form of bone cancer. He was receiving treatment for a lower body injury when an MRI revealed the tumor. Drew played in 16 games last season. Drew thanks his teammates and his family for their incredible support. The Red Sox wrapped up their 6-game road trip this afternoon in Minnesota. The Sox were down 3-1 with 2 out and the bases juiced in the top of the ninth. Will Middlebrooks gets his first hit of the day. It's a big one. A pair of runs come home to tie the game and send it to extra innings. But in the 10th, 2 out. Full count on Aaron Hicks. Andrew Miller gives up the walk-off winner for a second time in 3 games against the Twinkies. Sox lose 4-3. They return home to face the Tigers. And the Paw Sox with a morning start against the Indians. Bryce Brents begins a big day with his home run. Had 3 extra base hits before leaving in the 7th with an injury. Paw Sox win 4-0. They return back to McCoy on Saturday.
So Clay Buchholz didn't do too well today.
Gave up 3 runs. That gave up 3 runs. That's it.
That's all he's going to say.
Nothing special.
All right. Good night. We'll see you tonight at 11.
See you at 11.
Closed captioning on ABC6 is brought to you by Verizon Fios.
Is your ruby real or a ruby ringer?
They're being sold as ruby when they are not.
Next Instant Edition.
Tonight at 7:30 on ABC6.
If you see news happening, call us toll-free or email us at news@abc6.com.